What's going on, everybody? I'm back with another video. So first off, if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. I just want to make a quick video on Christmas Day just to keep pushing out content for everybody because you guys have been subscribing and that's been great. So that's really been motivating to produce more and more videos. So if you like the content so far and you want to learn about REST offense now, please smash the subscribe button and like the video, and we're going to get right into it. So today's concept is about REST offense. I know I've talked a little bit about REST defense, and just a quick point I want to make. So REST offense is pretty much the players that obviously their first responsibility in a low block especially is defensive responsibilities, but these are more or less the players that will be actively involved in an offensive transition. And as we know, there's two types of offensive transitions, and I mean there's mixes of these two as a hybrid model, but black and white, the two are more direct style of an offensive transition, and then the other is looking to go into your building your structure, a more positional, methodical approach once you have the ball. So I just highlighted the players here. So when the ball is won, these are going to be the active players looking to get forward and advance the ball. So if the ball is won by the purple team, the direct approach would be just look to eliminate the lines of defense and get in behind as soon as possible to get straight into goal, because in the low block we see, I'm going to highlight in blue because that's the closest color I have to purple, so I don't know why I'm using purple, but I'm just going to go with it. So pretty much this is the space your defense is looking to protect, where in behind here, I'll get rid of these yellow circles so it's a little bit more clear. So the blue space is pretty much the defensive third of the field, and that's the space you're dealing with in the low block, whereas the space you're trying to exploit is really everything in behind the back line. So you're honestly trying to exploit more space than you're responsible for defending. And what makes it really difficult is the amount of space that REST defense has to cover while maintaining a good positional approach to breaking down the low block. So here we have it. We're just going to go with the 2-3 REST defense like I talked about yesterday, and we're going to talk about how a good REST offense could potentially break this down. So this is the REST defense highlighted in red, the space we're trying to exploit in yellow, and now the space we're trying to protect in blue. So those are just the key spaces for right now. I just wanted to highlight them quickly. And some things to keep in mind is the marking system that you're using in your low block. So I know some teams, they go with a 5-4-1, 4-5-1, or even let's say a 4-4-2, and all of them are great. They all have their advantages, disadvantages, but it's really about how the concepts you want to use to win the ball back or to protect your goal, and how you want to go moving forward. So pretty much we know that the team in possession, when they lose the ball, their first priority will be protecting the middle three zones. So their job will be to come narrow and protect these middle three zones. So this will force your attack to go wide if you can't manipulate these players. So these are the three zones the defense will be most concerned about. And now we have our REST offense. So the first key thing is in a low block when you're using a more space-oriented marking system. So that means more use of cover shadows and more emphasis on compactness and less emphasis on tracking runners and jumping defenders, let's say, if your team plays with a back five, maybe you have a wide center back who jumps into the midfield more, and they have more emphasis on, as I said, compactness, space orientation, and forcing the offense into less desirable areas of the field. So with this means you can potentially have more players in front of the midfield line, and so what I mean by this is you have more players in front of the offense's advanced area options. So here, these are the main players higher up the field, and these are the players typically, if the ball is lost, let's say the 6 wins it, now these are the players directly looking to win the ball back if they counter press. And when the ball is won, and you're using a space-oriented 4-5-1, now we have more players in front of the ball to exploit the space. So that was just a little insight. And to sum things up really quickly, when you're using a more space-oriented marking system, which puts a lot of emphasis on cover shadows and compactness, you tend to have more players in front of your defensive line to then jump to attack and exploit the spaces left by the rest defense. So you may have more of a numbers advantage if you use a space-oriented rest offense. But in the 4-5-1, obviously you only have one forward, and one thing I really like about two forwards, so we're just going to look at a 4-4-2. One, it could disrupt circulation a little bit better. You have more emphasis on shifting now from the midfield because you have less players. So the staggering is more important because you have to be more attention to detail. But now when the ball is won, so now we have the ability to isolate defenders. So we have one here and one here, and these isolations. And pretty much a good rule of thumb is we want to break these connections between the two center backs, and by breaking the connection, we'll be able to exploit more dangerous space. So if the players first make a quick move away from the ball, wrong tool. If the players make a move away or vacate the area they want to go to, then this could open up the space direct to the goal or the space they want to exploit. And I'm going to do this for the other player as well, just to show you a little bit. So they move away from the ball, away from the space they want to exploit, and then they can move inside, creating more of a dynamic advantage, and such things like this. And then these movements can then allow players like the near side winger to then exploit the space out wide. So again, we're thinking about creating lose-lose situations for the rest defense now actively in their transition phase. So by doing these moves, hopefully the center backs will, one, separate, or the center backs may just say we prioritize the space, we're going to stay together, and in that case the space will be in the half spaces or in the wide areas to go around the rest defense. But this is crucial that these happen in split seconds, quick movements, and that the players don't just have the movement drilled into them, but they have decision making as well. And what I mean by this is they're able to read the situation, read the team's counter press, and they don't just start in these movements because they may not always be applicable. So that was just a little introduction to rest offense the players actively use in getting forward in an offensive transition. Just want to make a quick video for Christmas Day and wish everybody a Merry Christmas. So Thanks for watching. Subscribe, that would mean a lot. And I'll see you for the next one.